Hello guys, welcome. In this tutorial I am gonna solve paper 1 H Jan 2019. First, by looking at the formula sheet which is given and which you have to memorize it. Firstly, it's given the arithmetic series, the summation formula, quadratic equation formula, area of trapezium, trigonometry, sine rule, cosine rule, area of any triangle, the surface area of cone and its volume, the volume of any prism, cylinder, the surface area and the volume given. For a sphere also the volume and surface area is given. Let's start question number 1. Question number 1, part A, factorize fully. Firstly, look at the common factor. 4 and 6, both divided by 2. So we can take 2 outside common factor. 2 outside common factor and P and open bracket. 4P divided by 2P, the remainder is 2, plus 6PQ divided by 2P, the answer is 3Q. So from the first one, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Second one, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Part B. In part B, expand and simplify. We can multiply the first term by the first term, which is e squared. The first term, e times minus 5, is minus 5e. Second one, 3 times e is 3e. And 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Then simplify. We have here like terms, so you can find one term, e squared minus 2e minus 15. Or you can write it directly, first times first, second times second, outer and inner. Part C, solve the equation. This equation from the first degree, you can multiply both sides by 5, or we can say cross multiplication. 5 multiplied by y is 5y is equal to y plus 1. You can find y subject, 5y, by subtracting 2y from both sides. 5y minus 2y is 3y is equal to 1, so y by dividing both sides by 3, so the answer is third. Y is equal to third. Question number 2, part A, describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. The transformation which map A to B is rotation. This rotation is 180 degrees or 90 degrees. I will start first to show you that this is not 180 degrees. How? Just by start to join point C and the corresponding is D. Point A, its corresponding is F. Point B, the corresponding is E. If all intersect at only one point, so will be rotation 180 degrees. So this is not rotation 180 degrees. So this rotation is 90 degrees. How can I identify the center of this rotation? By join the corresponding points first. Point C, its corresponding is D. Then draw a perpendicular bisector between the point C and D. The center of rotation lies on this line, exactly where. Again, try to draw another perpendicular bisector, say this point, join with its corresponding, then draw the perpendicular bisector, this point and this point, they intersect at this point, which is -2 and 3. This is the center of rotation. If you try with the third point B with point E and draw the perpendicular bisector, will be intersect same point. So now it's a rotation 90 degrees with center -2 and 3 clockwise. You can use your tracing paper and show that from A to B, rotation 90 degrees, center -2 and 3 clockwise. So the answer is rotation this rotation 90 degrees clockwise and center -2 and 3. Part B, on the grid, translate the triangle A by the vector 2 and -3 and label the new triangle C. Translation vector 2 and -5. 2 and -5. Let's start with the first point, triangle A, 2 and -5. This point. How many units to the right and how many units down? It's 2 to the right, which is 2. Then, so 1, 2. They move down 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the new position will be at -1 and 4. By the same way, you can take each point, or after getting only one point, you can complete the triangle exactly same, like this, and 2 units, then join. Will be like this, and name it C. Or you can take each point, say this point again, count 2 units to the right, then move 5 units down. This is part B. Or you can write the points of triangle A like this, and the vector 2 and -5 by adding x to x and y to y. -4 plus 2 is -2. 9 minus 5 is 4. -4 plus 2 is -2. 7 minus 5 is +2. -3 plus 2 is -1. 9 minus 5 is 4. By looking at the new position of the triangle C, the first point -2 and 4, it's correct. Then -2 and 2, the last one -1 and 4, it's correct. Part C, on the grid, enlarge triangle D with a scale factor half and center -4 and 2. If we start first from the center at -4 and 2. How to move from the center to, say, this point? We count 1, 2, 3, 4, then 2. The vector is 4 and 2. The scale factor is half, means multiply it by half. When you multiply by half, so the new vector will be 4 times half is 2, half times half is 1. This means start from the center, move 2 units to the right, then 1 up. To start from this point, 2 to the right, then 1 up. This is the first point. Repeat it again with this point. To move from the center of enlargement to this point horizontally and vertically, if you started to count with me from -4 to the right, -4 till 2, you will get 6 units to the right, then 2 up. 6 and 2, if you have it, will be 3 and 1. 1, 2, 3, and 1. This is the new position. Repeat it again with the third point. How to move from the center to point 0, 0. Start from the center, move 4 to the right. If you have it, will be 2. Move 2 down. If you have it, will be 1. So 2, then 1, then join the 3 points. So the triangle will be like this. Question number 3. Here is a biased 5-sided spinner. When it is written biased, means that the probabilities are different. Biased means unfair. If we look at the spinner, how many faces, how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. If it is fair, will be 1/5 each. But it's written biased, means the probabilities are different. When the spinner is spun, it can land on red, blue, green, brown, or yellow. The table gives the probabilities that the spinner lands on red, blue, and green. Without complete, if we have table and the sum of the probabilities have to be 1. So you can find the summation of brown and yellow. Brown and yellow, let's say B and Y, is equal to 1 minus the sum 0.15 plus 0.26 plus 0.33. This answer gives 0.26. If it is written equally, so divided by 2. Let's read the second part. On the brown is 0.06 more than the probability that the spinner lands on yellow. If yellow will be X, so brown will be X plus 0.06. But we have their sum, so you can form simple equation to get the value of each. Their sum X plus 0.06 is equal to 0.6. Now it's simple to solve this equation. X plus X is 2X by subtracting 0.06 from their sides. So the answer is 0.2. So X is equal to, by dividing 0.2 divided by 2 is 0.1. X here represents the yellow. So the yellow is 0.1. And brown, it's 0.06 more than, which is X written here plus 0.01. If you add 0.1 plus 0.6, the answer is 0.16. Janine spun the spinner 150 times. Work out an estimate for the number of times that the spinner lands on yellow. To get the estimate or number or expectation number, use the probability, multiply by the total number, which is 150. Your answer will be 15 times. Question number 4. The table gives information about the price of gold. This table given in 1st February 216 and 1st March 216. Work out the percentage increase in the price of gold between 1st February 216 and 1st March 216. Give your answer correctly to 3 significant figures. To solve any question related with percentage, you can write old and new. Let's say the old, and here the percent, and new. The old each time is 100, which is the original. But in this question, the value of the old is 1126.50. And the new value is 1226.50. 1,236.50. By comparing between the old and new, this is increase or decrease? It's increasing. So you can find the value of increasing by subtract new minus old. You will get it 110. So what is the percentage of increasing represent? I name it x. How can I find x? By cross multiplication. So x is equal to 100 multiplied by 110 all divided by 1126.50. Simplify, you will get your answer by using your calculator. The answer is 9.7647, but it's written here, write your answer 3 significant figure. The first 3 significant figure is 9.76. Again, you can apply the formula direct to get the percentage of increase is equal to the value of increase subtract 1236.50 minus the original 1126.50 divided by the original one, which is 1126.50 multiplied by 100%. You will get the same answer, which is 9.763 significant figure. In part B, the price of 1 ounce of gold in 1st February is 216 was, it's a given the value. The price of gold increased by 19%. This is the percentage of increase from the 1st February 216 to the 1st July 216. Work out the price of 1 ounce of gold 1st July. By the same way as part A, I will write old, which represent here February, and here percentage, whatever increase or decrease. And here I will write new. For the old is 100. Percentage here increase. This increase is 19. So the new add 100 plus 19 is 119. Which given the value in February is 1126.50. So the new is not given. Let it be x, then use cross multiplication. So x is equal 119 multiplied by 1126.50 all divided by 100. You will get the new value. By using the calculator, the answer is 1,340.535. He asked to write your answer correct to the nearest dollar, means to the nearest whole number. 5 add 1 to be 0, so the final answer 134.1 Question number 5. It's a given B, C, D and A, F, E are straight lines. Show that B, C, D is parallel to A, F, E. Give a reason for your working. I will start first from B, C, D is straight line. B, C, D is straight line. This means the sum of these two angles, their sum is equal to 180. So I can form an equation including x and solve this equation to get x. Let's start. 4x plus 15 plus 30x plus minus 5 is equal to 180 degrees. 4x and the 30 is 34x plus 10 is equal to 180. By subtracted 10 from both sides will be 170 divided by 34, so the answer is 5. Now, after getting the value of x, so you can find the measure of each angle. The first one, 4 times 5, 20 plus 15 is 35. And this angle 30 times 5, 150 minus 5 is 145. The third one, 20 times 5, 100, so the answer is 145. To show that these two lines are parallel, you have to get two angles alternatively, or two angles their sum is equal to 180. Let's say I will look at this angle and this angle. They are equal. The first angle DCF, is equal to or congruent to the angle AFC, and these two angles are alternate, so these two lines are parallel. BCD as a straight line is parallel to AFE straight line. Or you can find the sum of the interior angle, these two interior angle, their sum is equal to 180. Same, so these two lines are parallel. Question number 6. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus 5x plus 6. This table is given, it's a given some points, and he asked to complete by replacing 1 in this equation. So 1 to the power of 2 minus 5 times 1 plus 6 to get the value of f of 1. You will get your answer is 2. By the same way, 5, you have to get f of 5 all squared minus 5 times 5 plus 6 is equal to 6. Because this is a quadratic equation, so we have here symmetry. Look at the first point, 6, 6, 2, 2, 0, 0, so you can complete it directly. In part B, on the grid, draw the graph of y equals x squared minus 5x plus 6 from 0 to 5. Let's start to plot the points. 0, 6, this is the first point. 1 and 2. 2, 0. 3, 0. 4, 2. 5 and 6. Before joining these points, as you know, the quadratic function, it has U shape. So here we have a vertex or the stationary point or the turn point, and we have many ways to identify this point. I will give you only one solution for it here. This value 2 and 3 in between, which is 2.5. So this is the vertex of the curve. Or negative b divided by 2a. b is negative 5 and a is 1. As you know, the quadratic function, it has a standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. Negative b over 2a, you will get negative 5 divided by 2, the answer is 2.5. So you have to get the value of 2.5. If you write 2.5 squared minus 5 times 2.5 plus 6, the answer is negative 1 over 4 or negative 0.25. So it's better to identify the vertex of the curve, exactly 2.5 and negative 0.25. Now you can join the curve. You have to draw a smooth curve like this, and you know this is a line of symmetry. If I ask to get the equation of the line of symmetry, so x is equal to 0.5. If I ask to get the stationary point or the vertex of this curve, will be this point. Now look at part C. By drawing straight line on the grid, find estimates for the solution of this equation. To solve the equation graphically, look at first the left hand side. Is it same function? X squared minus 5x. No, still need add 6 to both sides. So first by adding 6 to both sides, so now x squared minus 5x plus 6, add 6 to the other side, x minus 7 plus 6. If you simplify, will be x squared minus 5x plus 6. This is the first function. Simplify the right side, will be x minus 1. To solve this equation graphically, name the left hand side as function y1 and the right side as another function y2. You have to sketch both. It's already done, the first one, so you have to draw the straight line y equals x minus 1. You have to draw the line y equals x minus 1. You can draw this line directly, the y-intercept is minus 1, or you can find any 2 points on the line. You can form a table like this. If you draw a line, a table, x and y, I need just only 2 points enough. If I replace 0 and 1. 0, the answer will be negative 1. 1, the answer will be 0. Then draw the straight line. If you try to plot the points, 0 and negative 1, 0 and negative 1, this point, 1 and 0, 1 and 0, this point, and draw the straight line which is passing through these 2 points. Draw the straight line passing through these 2 points like this. The line cut the curve at how many points? The line cut the curve at 2 points. To get these 2 points represent the solution of the equation. This point and this point. It's 1.5, estimate 1.5 and 4.5. So the solution of this equation 1.5, 1.5 and 4.5. If you try to solve this equation algebraically, as a quadratic equation by using quadratic formula to get the exact values, to be sure, I think you will find your answer 1.4, 4.6 around our answer here. Question number 7. The table showed the volumes in kilometer cube of 4 oceans. Part A, write 7.18 times 10 to the power 7 as an ordinary number. This number written in standard form, I'd like it to write it in ordinary form. So 7.18 times 10 to the power of 7, which is 10 million, 7 zeros, When we multiply by 10 million, this means we move the point to the right side 7 digits. We already have 2, so you have to add 5 zeros. So the answer is 7, 1, 8, and 5 zeros. Part B. Calculate the total volume of these 4 oceans. Just find their sum by using the calculator. 1.88 times 10 to the power of 7 plus 3.10 times 10 to the power of 8 plus 2.64 times 10 to the power of 8 plus 7.18 times 10 to the power of 7. Then by using your calculator, your answer will be 6, 6, 4, 6, and 5 zeros. Your answer is in ordinary form. It's not mentioned how to write your answer, so if you keep it like this, it's okay, or you can write in standard form 6.646 times 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 to the power of 8. Part C. Write this answer in standard form. To write this value in standard form means A times 10 to the power of n, where is A greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10. So if we have here a decimal point and start to move it to the left hand side, how many digits will be 6 to be between 9 and 8? So 9.88 times 10 to the power of 6. Question number 8. The diagram shows an isosceles triangle. Two sides are equal, each x, and the base is 5. The area of triangle is 15. Work out the perimeter of the triangle. To get the perimeter of triangle, you have to find the value of x, then find the sum of all sides. Let's start first. We have area. Area of triangle is half base into height, because this is isosceles triangle. So if you drop the perpendicular line from the vertex to the base, makes 90 degrees, because it's isosceles triangle and these two sides are equal. Bisect the base into 2.5 and 2.5. How can I find the height? Half, area of triangle is half times the base, which is 5, times the height is equal to 12. By solving this equation, half of 5 is 2.5, height is equal to 12, so height is equal 12 divided by 2.5 is 4.8 centimeter. So now we have height is 4.8. How can I find the x? By apply Pythagoras theorem for this right angle triangle. 4.8 squared. 4.8 squared plus 2.5 squared is equal to x squared. Then by taking square root, you can find the length of each side. 4.8 squared plus 2.5 squared, square root for answer is 5.412. So the perimeter of triangle, the sum of all sides, the perimeter is equal to 5.412 multiplied by 2, because we have two values for x, plus 5, then find the total. plus 5. So the answer is 15.8, corrected to 3 significant figure, 15.8 centimeter. Question number 9. The table shows information about speeds of 60 cycles as it's given. The first group from 0, 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, 40. The frequency given on the right hand side. Look at part A. In part A, complete the cumulative frequency. To write the cumulative frequency, start with the first frequency, which is 3. Then add 16 to be 19. Then 19 plus 24 is 43. 43 plus 10 is 53. 53 plus 5 is 58. 58 plus 2 is 60, which represent the total. This is the cumulative frequency. In part B, the question asks to plot the points and draw the cumulative frequency graph. The first point, if you look at the previous table, it was 10 and 3. The first point, 10 and 3. Second point, 2019. The third point, 3043. Then 4053. Then 58. Then 60. You have to join to draw the cumulative frequency graph. The first group 0, start with 0. Then start to join, smooth curve. It will be like this. Part C, use your graph to find an estimate for the interquartile range of speeds. To get the interquartile range, you have to identify the first quartile and the third, lower quartile and upper quartile, Q1 and Q3. How? Q1 is opposite to 25% of 60, or we can divide the range from 0 to 60 into 4 quadrants, divided by 2, so this value will be represent Q2, and half of 30, which is 15, will represent Q1, and 45 here represent Q3. So the value of Q1, I see it here, is 19 Q1, and Q3, I saw it here, it's better to use your ruler. I see it here, 33, the upper quartile. So the interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. The interquartile range is 33 minus 19. So the answer is 14. Question number 10 here is triangle ABD. ABD. The point C lies on BD. AD 13, BC 8, angle ATB is 90 degrees, angle CAD 20 degrees. Calculate the size of angle BAC. BAC. He asked to find the measure of this angle. We already have two right-angled triangle, ACD. First, if I start with angle triangle ACD, it's a right-angled triangle, so you can find the length of the side by using tan. Tan 20 is equal the opposite, which is CD over adjacent, which is 13. So CD side is equal 13 times tan 20. So by calculation, the answer will be 4.7316. Again, you can find the measure of this angle by apply tan for the right angled triangle ABCD. So tan angle BAD is equal to opposite, which is DB divided by adjacent, which is AD. So tan this angle, tan BAD is equal, if you add CD to BD, 8 and 4.7 will be 12.73 if you'd like to add, divided by 30. Inverse tan, you can find the measure of angle BAD is equal 44.4 degrees. So subtract 20, because now we have the measure of this angle, the biggest one. Subtract 20, you can find the measure of angle BAC. So angle BAC is 44.4 minus 20. So the answer is 24.4 degrees. Question number 11. Express 5 over 3 minus x plus 2 over 2x as a single fraction in its simplest form. Find the common denominator first. 3 multiplied by 2x. The first fraction multiplied by 2x. The answer will be 10x, minus the second fraction multiplied by 3. So 3 times x plus 2. Be careful when we have subtract. Simplify the numerator and the denominator. Even if you keep it, 3 times 2x or 3 times 2 is 6x. 10x minus 3 times x is 3x. Then negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. You can simplify more. 10x minus 3x is 7x minus 6, all divided by 6x. This answer is a single fraction in its simplest form. Question number 12. The curve C has equation y equals 3rd x to the power of 3 minus 9x plus 1. Find dy by dx. To get the derivative of this function, as we know of, if we have x to the power of n, to get its derivative is n x to the power of n minus 1. So I start to differentiate dy by dx. The first term, we drop the power, 3rd times 3, the answer is 1, or step by step, 3rd. To differentiate x to the power of 3, drop 3, then minus 1 to be 2. Minus differentiation of 9x is 9. Differentiation of constant is 0. So dy by dx in its simplest form is equal, 3rd times 3 is 1, x squared minus 9. In part B, so the final answer, you have to write it here, dy by dx is x squared minus 9. Find the range of values of x for which C has a negative gradient. Negative gradient means dy by dx is less than 0. So x squared minus 9 less than 0. This is quadratic inequality. You can find first the solution of the quadratic equation x squared minus 9. you can factorize x squared minus 9 as a difference between two squares, x minus 3 and x plus 3. So the 2 points 3 and negative 3. If it is less than 0, so the answer between negative 3 and positive 3, or you can use the number line test. Question number 13. All the students in year 11 at school must study at least one geography G, history H, and religious studies R. In year 11 there are 65 years. This is the important point. 65 students. This is the total. One of these students, 15 study geography and history and religious. So the total here is 15. 15 study all of them. 21 study geography and history. 21 geography and history, and we already have here 15, so the remainder is 6. So now 21 study geography and history. The first part done, second part. Third one. 16 study geography and religious study. We already have 15 and it's written here 16, so the remainder is 1. Now this part done. 30 study geography. Geography 30, and we already here 15 and 6 is 21 plus 1 is 22, so the remainder is 8 to be the total is 30. Now this part done. 18 study only religious. Study only religious, this means the remainder here is 18. 18 study only religious. 37 study religious study. 37, if you get the total, 15 and 18 is 33. 33 plus 1, 34, so the remainder is 3. Now, how can I find this value, which is history only? Find the total, which is 8 plus, here is 22 plus 21. The answer is 51, but the total is 65. It's given up. So 65 minus 51, so the answer is 14. So this is 14. As you know, there is no one outside because it's written at least have to study one of these subjects. So you can write outside 0 or not. This is part A. Next part. A student in year 11 who studies both history and religious study is chosen at random. So we select only from those 18, 3 and 15. Work out the probability. So this is called the conditional probability because we select only from 18. Work out the probability that this student does not study geography. Does not study the geography. How many? 3. So the answer 3 over 18. You can keep it like this because it's not written in simplest form, but you can simplify, divided by 3, divided by 3. So the answer is 1 out of 6. Question number 14. T is directly proportional to the cube of R. T directly proportional with R cubed to the power of 3. This means T is equal constant of proportion R cubed. If it is given two values, one for T, one for R, so you can find the K. Yes, it's a given. T equals 21.76 is equal to K. R is 4 all to the power of 3. So K is equal 21.76 divided by 4 to the power of 3. So the answer is 0.34. So the equation connecting between T and R, T equals 0.34 times R to the power of 3. Part B, work out the value of t when r is equal to 6. We already have equation. T equals 0.34 times 6 all to the power of 3 by calculation. So t is 73.44. Question number 15. The total surface area of the solid hemisphere. The total surface area of hemisphere is equal to the curved surface area of the cylinder. Hemisphere, its surface area is pi r squared. This is the area of the circle, plus the sphere is 4 pi r squared divided by 2 to be hemisphere. If you simplify, this answer is 3 pi r squared. This is the total surface area of a solid hemisphere. What about cylinder? Cylinder is pi, curved surface area is 2 pi rh. It's written the radius of the hemisphere is r. It's okay, r. The radius of the cylinder is twice the radius of hemisphere. So this value of r becomes 2r, the radius of hemisphere. So now 3 pi r squared, 3 pi r squared, the surface area of hemisphere is equal to pi, remove r and write 2r multiplied by h. Now if you simplify, 3 pi r squared is equal to 4 pi r h. Divided both sides by pi, you can remove it now, and also divided by r, so 3r is equal to 4h. From this equation you can find the r subject or you can find h subject. If I write h subject, h is equal to 3 over 4r. This is the relation between r and h. If you complete that, given that the volume of hemisphere is 4 over 3 pi r cube. This is the volume of a sphere, divided by 2. This is the volume of hemisphere. 2. The volume of cylinder. The volume of cylinder is pi r squared h. But as we said before, r it's a double. So pi, remove r and write 2r all squared. And you can remove h and write 3 over 4r. Now if you simplify, 4 over 3 divided by 2 is 2 over 3 pi r cube. 2. Simplify, 2 squared is 4. 4 times 3 over 4, the answer is 3. R times r squared, so pi r squared, and r will be r to the power of 3. You can divide it both again by pi. You can remove it. Divided by r cube, also you can remove it. So the final answer is 2 over 3 to 3. This ratio in its is not in its simplest form, so you can multiply by 3, will be 2 over 9. This is the final answer in simplest form. But if you look at the question, it's written 1 to m. So the first term to be 1, you have to divide it by 2. Divided by 2 is 1. Divided by 2 is 4.5. This is the value of m. Question number 16, part A, rationalize the denominator. When I ask to rationalize the denominator, this means multiply by the conjugate. If you write a plus square root of 4b divided by a minus square root of 4b. To rationalize, multiply by the conjugate, which is a plus root of 4b divided by a plus root of 4b. Then multiply. When we multiply the numerators together and denominator together, a times a is a squared. A times root a is a root of 4b. Again, root 4b times a is a root of 4b plus root 4b times root 4b, the answer is 4b because it's squared 4b, divided by this number a minus root 4b and a plus root 4ab number and its conjugate, so you can write the first squared minus the second squared directly, or you can expand and simplify. So the answer here is a squared minus 4b. You can simplify more, a squared plus these two like terms, you can write 2a square root of 4b plus 4b, all divided by a squared minus 4b. Still you can simplify more, yes. Root 4 is 2, so you can write it outside. So a squared plus 2 times 2 is 4a root b plus 4b, all divided by a squared minus 4b. Part B, given that square root of y over x all to the power of negative 5 is equal to x to the power of m y to the power of m. Part B, given that square root of y over x all to the power of negative 5 is equal x power of m over y to the power of m, whereas x is not equal to y, find the value of m. If we start with the left hand side, square root means to the power of half. So y over x to the power of half, all to the power of negative 5. If we have two powers, multiply. So y over x all to the power of negative 5 over 2. Because the power is negative, to write it positive, reciprocal, x over y. In this case, you can switch from negative to positive. Now we can write it x to the power of 5 over 2 and y to the power of 5 over 2 by comparing. So m is equal to 5 over 2, or you can write it 2.5. Question 17, here is triangle ABC. We have two sides and one angle. Calculate the value of x. Differentiate between sine rule and cosine rule. If we have two sides and angle included, so you can apply cosine rule to get this side. But he asked to get x. So after getting this side, you can find the measure of angle x by apply sine rule or cosine rule again. So because we have two sides and one angle included, I will get the length of side AC squared. AC squared is 5.3 squared plus 4.1 squared minus 2 times 5.3 times 4.1 times cosine 110. By using the calculator and get square root, so you can find the length of AC. The answer is 7.730. So now after getting this side 7.730, 5.73. You can find the x by apply sine rule or cosine rule, both are same. If you apply sine rule, because now you have pair side and opposite angle, if you apply sine rule, you can get the answer is 7.73 divided by sine 110 is equal 5.3 divided by sine x. Then by solving this equation, you can find the value of x. Sine x is equal 5.3 times sine 110 all divided by 7.73. So x is equal inverse x sine or shift sine. You can find the measure of angle x. The answer is 40.1 degrees. Question number 18. The graph of y equals f of x is shown on the grid. It's a quadratic function. On the grid above, sketch the graph of y equals f half x. This transformation is a stretch. This is stretch scale factor, if it is written, multiply by half x. This means multiply the coordinates of x by 2, reciprocal of half. So each point I will multiply the x coordinates by 2. Let's start from this point. 4 and 5. The x coordinates here 4 multiplied by 2 will be 8 and 5. This is the new position. This point 3 and 0 multiplied by 2 will be 6 and 0. This point 2 and negative 3 multiplied by 2 will be 4 and negative 3. This point 1 and minus 4 multiplied by 2 will be 2 and minus 4. This point 0 and minus 3 will be same, multiplied by 2. Negative 1, 0 multiplied by 2 will be negative 2 and 0. This point negative 2 and 5 multiplied by 2 will be negative 4 and 5. Then join the new points. It will be like this. Have to be smooth curve. Second part, the graph of y equals f of x plus k. This is translation horizontally, and also because of x we change the sign of k to be negative k, if it is negative k to be positive k. He asks in this part, write down the value of k. The function f of x, its vertex was at 1 and minus 4. This point shifted to the left hand side 3 units, to the value of k is equal to 3. Question number 19. G is the function with domain x is greater than or equal to negative 3. The function g of x is equal to x squared plus 6x. Write down the range of g inverse. The range is domain is range. By comparing between function, if we have say g of x and g inverse of x. If we have here the domain x greater than or equal to negative 3, the domain becomes range, but the range is the values of y. So y is greater than or equal to negative 3 is the range of g inverse. Part B, express the inverse of function. To get the inverse of function, in case of it is quadratic, you have to write it first in completing square form. So y is equal to x squared plus 6x. Write it in completing square form, bracket all to the power of 2, square root of x squared, which is x. Take the sign of the middle term, divided the coefficient of x by 2 will be 3. This value, write it outside, minus squared, 3 squared is 9. How to find the inverse of the function? Switch between x and y, let x to y and y x, y plus 3 all squared minus 9. Then find y subject, x, add 9 for both sides, is equal to y plus 3 all to the power of 2. By taking a square root for both sides, positive or negative, square root of x plus 9 is equal to y plus 3. Move 3 to the other side, plus or minus square root x plus 9 minus 3 is equal to y. So G inverse x is equal, take the sign positive because of here it's written domain is greater than or equal to negative 3. If it is on the right hand side from the vertex, write it positive x plus 9 minus 3. To write your answer in this form, it's square root of x plus 9 and write outside minus 3. Question number 20. A bowl contains n pieces of fruit. Of these, 4 are orange and the rest are apples. First, now the number of orange is 4. And the number of apples is n minus 4 because the total n. 2 pieces of fruit are going to be taken. If you try to draw a tree diagram for that, if you take 2, the first may be orange, may be apples. The probability of orange is 4 divided by total, which is n, and apples is n minus 4 divided by n. If it is written 2 pieces of fruits are going to be taken randomly, it's not mentioned with the replace or without, this means we take 2 together, this means 1 by 1 without replace. So in second one, maybe orange, maybe apples, maybe orange, maybe apples. If the first one orange, so the remainder it was 4, the remainder is 3 out of n minus 1. And apple is still same, n minus 4 but divided by n minus 1. If the first one is apple, so orange is still 4 but 4 out of n minus 1. And apples reduce 1 will be n minus 5 divided by n minus 1. The probability that the bowl will then contains n minus 6. To contains n minus 6, this means the first apple and the second apple, because it was n minus 4 to be n minus 6. This means the 2 selected fruits are apples. So the probability of 2 apples is equal to third. The probability of apples is n minus 4 divided by n multiply n minus 5 divided by n minus 1 is equal to 1/3. Simplify this equation. Expand n minus 4 times n minus 5 is n squared. N times minus 5 is minus 5n. Minus 4 by n is minus 4n. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. Divided by n squared minus n is equal to 1/3. Simplify more. N squared minus 9n plus 20 all divided by n squared minus n is equal to third. cross multiplication. 3n squared minus 27n plus 60 is equal to n squared minus n. Simplify. 3n squared minus n squared is 2n squared, minus 27n plus n is minus 26n, plus 60 is equal to 0. Divided by 2, so n squared minus 13n plus 30 is equal to 0. Factorize into expressions are linear. N times n, 3 times 10. It is positive, both like middle term negative. 2 factors, their product is equal to 0. N minus 3 is 0, so n is equal to 3, and n is equal to 10. But n is equal to 3 rejected, so the answer is n is equal to 10. Why this value is rejected? Because here the number of apples is n minus 3. If n is 3 minus 4 will be negative 1, but the number of apples have to be positive. So the value of n is equal to 10. Question number 21. 2x plus 23, 8x plus 2, 20x minus 52 are 3 consecutive terms of arithmetic sequence. If it is 3 arithmetic sequence, first, second, third. If it is arithmetic sequence, this means the second term minus first term exactly same like third term minus the second term. The difference, which is called common difference. If you apply this equation, you will get an equation in x. Solve this equation so you can get the common difference. Let us start to replace u2 is 8x plus 2 minus 2x plus 23 equals u3, which is 20x minus 52 minus u2, which is 8x plus 2. Simplify. 8x minus 2x is 6x. 2 minus 23 is negative 21. Equals 20x minus 8x is 12x. Minus 52 minus 2 is minus 54. Simplify. 12x minus 6x is equal minus 21 plus 54. 12x minus 6x is 6x. Simplify. 54 minus 21 is 33. Divided by x, divided by 6, so x is equal to 5.5. After getting the value of x, you can find each term. You can find the first term, second term, and find the difference. First term, by replacing 5.5, 2 times 5.5 is 11. 11 plus 23 is 34. This is the first term. Second term, replace 5.5 will be 46. You can find also the third term, but he asked only find the common difference. You can subtract to get the common difference is second. 46 minus 34, so the answer is 12. He asked to show that. Or in case if we have 3 terms in arithmetic sequence, double of second term is equal sum first and third. If you apply this equation exactly the same, you can find the value of x.